Hey peeps, Tyler here, just going to get into the video. Now, I'm a trans man, but my egg didn't fully crack until my 30s. I have a couple videos on my trans story that I'll link in the description, so I don't have to repeat everything, but of course, me being a trans man is important to this video. Yes, I scripted this, so I'm reading it, so that way I get all my thoughts coherently in order. So, because at 13 years old, I was going through female puberty, I had gotten my period at 12, etc. Well, my sexuality decided to wake up at 13, and suddenly I realized, girls are hot. Looking back, I can see I had crushes on girls before that I didn't realize were crushes, because that, in my world and religion back then, was considered a sin and wrong. So I couldn't even entertain the idea, until suddenly it was unignorable. I felt awful about it, but couldn't help it. I stupidly came out to my parents as bi. That didn't go well, but I'm not going into all that here. I prayed for years, every day, to God to please turn my ass straight, which, is fucking ironic now. Maybe he heard me and went, dude, my man, you already are. Now, I had the feeling that I was a boy back then. I had gender dysphoria. I hated what female puberty did to me. But again, religion. I thought I had no choice but to be a girl. Plus, for a while growing up, I didn't even know trans dudes were a thing. No matter how much it felt wrong. No matter how much it felt wrong for me to be a girl, because I felt like a boy, I thought I had no choice. However, looking back, it's not immediately obvious why I didn't think I was a lesbian. Occasionally, I would question that. Am I just a lesbian? Not bi? Because I'm way more attracted to women than men. But I always landed on, nah, I just have a preference, which is a valid way to be bi. After years of trying to pray the gay part of me away, and crying to God about it every night, crying myself to sleep about the gay part of me, which turns out what I thought was the gay part is actually really straight of me. Eventually, fast forward to my 20s, and I eventually became proud to be bi, because fuck the biphobes and the homophobes, which then made me proud to be, well, at least I'm mostly gay, rather than mostly, straight. Because of, as a response to all the homophobic assholes. That's why a lot of some queer people act like that, because of the homophobic assholes. Like, there's a reason for that, but anyway, I've had a few boyfriends and was married to a man who passed away February 16th, 2021. So as of this recording, a little over 3 years ago. I cried for months after he passed away. I did love him, I always will. I even made a video this past February, on the day he passed away, 3 years to the day, a letter to him. It's emotional, and you can see he meant a lot to me. So now you might be thinking, okay then, you're really attracted to women, but you've been in love with a man, obviously you're bi. What the fuck are you talking about? Well, I think I may be able to love someone regardless of gender or parts, but I don't think I've ever sexually been attracted to a man. Or a dick. I wish I had a dick. I've had sex and enjoyed it. I wasn't repulsed. But turned on by it? Not really. And now that I'm on T, and have been since February 2nd, 2023, so over a year now, it's clear that, TMI alert, there's no reaction down there to men or penises. If you're confused, T makes the clit grow and turn into basically a micropenis, in a nutshell. It's the same tissue from my understanding. It can get erections in about an inch or so on average, up to maybe a couple inches at most. And I think me being trans explains a lot, and was tangled up in shit I had no idea it was tangled up in. Looking back, I think the men I liked the look of wasn't sexual attraction. It was one of 2 or 3 things, depending. Either I wanted to look like them, which I was aware of actually, wanting their flat chests, among other things, their facial hair, etc. But of course I tried to push those feelings away as much as possible and refused to entertain them. So I wanted to look like them because trans, and I've heard the meme, do I want to fuck him or look like him? So I naturally figured both, like many of other bi-trans men who made that a meme. Compulsory heteronormativity is a bitch as well, and I think I fell for that and didn't even realize it. At all. And please keep in mind, I'm only telling my own story, nobody else's. And sometimes I think it was simply being able to recognize a nice-looking man, which many straight men can do and often refuse to admit it because of homophobia. I've heard from straight cis men that aren't homophobic and toxic that, yes, they can admit that they can see a man as attractive even if they don't want to fuck him. That doesn't make you gay. There's nothing wrong with being gay either. I'm just saying. So I think I confused wanting to look like them because of gender and body dysphoria, as well as compulsory heteronormativity, and just simply being able to recognize an attractive man regardless of sexual attraction. Looking back, I can't believe I'd routinely ask myself, maybe I'm just a lesbian. It was like a cycle, every so many months or whatever the hell. But always landed on, nah, just bi with a strong preference. And now I'm questioning if I'm bisexual at all. But questioning that feels like I'm punching my dead husband in the face. Because I did and do love him. He meant the world to me. He taught me so much. Like I said, I'll leave all the videos in the description if you want to check them out and get more information about all of this. But anyway, he meant the world to me. The video linked in the description should show that. There is so much more to it. It feels appalling of me to be questioning this now. Am I bi? Am I straight? I've heard romantic and sexual attraction don't have to match. So, what am I? Am I heterosexual and bi or panromantic now? Which I guess might still fall under the bi umbrella. I don't know. Hetero-flexible, maybe? Fuck if I know. And I'm 35, by the way. And for the past more than 20 years, I've been saying I was bi. Most of that thinking I was a bi woman, until I realized I'm trans. And the more I think about it, the less I'm sure it even matters, though. I know I loved my husband, and I think he knew I loved him. I sure hope so. But sexual attraction to men? To penis? I think I've known all along I don't have that. Deep down, I just refuse to acknowledge it. I just refuse to admit it because of a couple of reasons, and the fact I'm trans, I think, made it easier to ignore the lack of it. Because it gave me something to confuse it with. This, all of it, my past has gotten so recontextualized in my 30s. In my 30s, I've learned I'm autistic, ADHD, and trans. I'm 35, and the amount of stuff that's happened to me that I've learned about myself in the past 5 years is insane. So, where do I stand on my sexuality now? I'm not sure. I'm not really attracted to men in that way, but I can't deny I loved my husband either. So, I don't think I have a label anymore. Queer not otherwise specified? Which reminds me of the first time I ever saw bisexual representation at all. I was almost 27 years old. And reminder, I came out as bi at 13. The first time I ever saw bi representation, I was almost 27 years old and picked up Not Otherwise Specified by Hannah Moskowitz. And I loved it. The main character is a bisexual girl. I cried and cried. I loved it so much. And now this. All of it. Thinking about all of my life, it changes the context and understanding of so much. But I guess that's life. Always learning, unlearning, relearning. It's a journey. I have no answers. This is just my story and journey, and I'm telling it to the best of my ability. I'm not entirely sure what the title or thumbnail may look like, so I'm sorry if the title and thumbnail might be a little clickbaity, but that would explain the question marks. and no flags were harmed in the making of this video. So, like, comment, let me know what you think, share, subscribe if you want to, hit the bell if you want to be notified of when I post new videos. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.